Okay guys, welcome to your 20th video, and in this video we're going to be working on the collision detection. But before we do that, it's going to be a lot easier if we allow Bucky to move in any direction. So right now, obviously he can move up, but that's all he can move. If I type left, right, down, he can't move in any direction but up. So let's go ahead and fix this right now. So we already pretty much coded the basic framework of it. Now we just need to add 3 more if statements, one for down, left, and right. And let me go ahead and space these out a little bit more. So this, of course, is the up direction whenever the user hits up on their keyboard. The other one is down, and whenever we do this, instead of moving up, he moves down. And instead of increasing the y value, we actually need to decrease the y value. Now for right and left, actually let me go ahead and do left because that might make a little bit more sense. Alright, now for whenever the user hits left, we'll change the animation to moving left, and also instead of the y position, we're now working with the x position. So what we want to do is we want to add to x. And for the last one, right, this is moving right. And whenever he moves right, of course, that isn't y because y is up and down. X is left and right. And whenever he moves right, we need to subtract from his x position. So hopefully you got that right. Plus minus y, y, x, x. It looks good to go. I probably messed something up, but let's go ahead and play this game and test it out. You can move up, down, left, and right. Okay, so I didn't mess anything up. Now let's go ahead and tackle the problem of collision detection. So as you can see, right now, whenever Bucky goes off the map, he just keeps going into space. However, whenever we are making our map, we want him to stop right here. So what we want to do is we want to get all of the values that are going to allow us to pretty much determine where the edge of the map is. So go ahead and first of all, we'll get the topmost parameter. So we'll say that the topmost parameter, remember the only thing that we have to worry about is y. So we'll say that when y is equal to 162, then we shouldn't allow Bucky to go any further. So just remember that 162, go ahead and write it down on a sticky note or something. So now we need to get the bottommost parameter. So go ahead and walk all the way to the bottom of your map, and let's say that it is, what's this looking like? 600. So negative 600, Bucky should not be allowed to go any lower than that. Now we need to get to left and right, and I know this is, kind of boring watching me walk around, but okay. Now we're only looking at the x value. So the leftmost, we'll say that this is like 324. Okay, so leftmost, Bucky should not be able to have x value more of 324, or else that'll mean he's off the map. And my map is kind of big, so I don't know, what can I talk to you guys about? Well, I got a love seat delivered today, and whenever they delivered it, they didn't even knock or anything. They just started walking in my house. It was kind of weird. But anyways, now that we're to the other side of the map, check it out. So now the x value for this, we'll say that this is like, I don't know, 840. We'll say right around 840, negative 840. So Bucky's x value should not be able to go lower than negative 840. So go ahead and write all those values down like I just did. And once you have all those values, you can begin the collision detection. So where do you put the collision detection? Well, obviously you only want to, determine if they pretty much the topmost limit, make sure he can't go above that. So if you're walking up, then you need to check that Bucky's y value isn't greater than 162. So right under, probably easier if I added a comment, just because that green comment stands out. Up, down, left, right. And by the way, even though, I just, kind of played around with it and walked around the map, and I was pretty much just looking at these coordinates in the top left, whenever you develop a game for real, then you actually would want to, look at the image size and look at the size of your character and do all the math. But for just demonstration purposes, I'll just kind of wing it, see whatever it's close to. But anyways, just telling you guys that this isn't really a professional game we're making. If it, spoiler alert. But basically, this is how you test for collision detection. If what we're checking here is Bucky's Y position, because remember, we only want to worry about the Y position because we're moving up right now, and we only want to make sure that the Y position isn't greater than 162, because the top edge of the map was where Y was equal to 162. So what if Bucky's Y position is greater than 162? Well, what we need to do then is say, dude, if your Y position is greater than 162 and you're about to go off the upper edge of the map, then just go ahead and I'll show you guys a really short way. Just go ahead and move in the opposite direction. So remember, he's still going to look like he's facing up. However, it's not going to let him move any further because it's going to be subtracting that value instead of adding it. So basically, whenever we add a value to the Y position, the map makes it appear like Bucky is walking up. However, if we don't allow any more values to be added to the Y position, that makes pretty much very simple collision detection and allows him not to go any further. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So now, whenever he moves up, instead of just walking up the map, it's going to say, okay, now, check it out. I'm pressing up, but it's not going to allow him to go any further because we set that if statement that says, okay, if you get to this edge, then stop moving. The map stops moving. Therefore, it looks like Bucky stops moving. So that's how you do very simple collision detection. And whenever you have something like a building or a tree, you have to use both the X and the Y, but just for the edges or the borders of the map, you only have to worry about one coordinate at a time. So now let's do the same thing for the other ones. Down. Okay, so if Bucky's Y value now is less than negative 600, and basically the rule is this. Go ahead and copy this, which is the natural movement of Bucky, and change this sign right here. So now the down position, or whenever Bucky's walking down, he can't go off the bottom edge of the map. Now we need to do the same thing for left and right. So I might as well type this out. So if Bucky's X position, which is basically his position to the left and right, is greater than 324, then what this means is do the opposite of this, which pretty much means move the map in the opposite direction, right like that. Now just go ahead and copy this and paste it right here. Alright, so let me look on my sticky note. If the is less than, what do we say, negative 840, which was on the right hand side of the map, then what we need to do is make the map go in the opposite direction. So now, hopefully, if I didn't mess up any of my values, then whenever I hit play now, Bucky can not only move up, down, left, and right, but he hits the edge when he goes up too much. Now let me test down. And this is where I find out if I mess something up. I'm just going to keep holding it, and awesome. Okay, we got our top and down working. Come on. Okay, looking good so far. We got one more to go. Guys, by the way, I usually do mess this up, so this is actually pretty impressive that I got all the math right on the very first try. And come on, stop, stop! Yes, freaking game time. Alright, so basically we got Bucky moving around his world. The only other thing that we need to take care of is, remember I said that I'm going to add functionality that whenever the user hits the escape key, then a menu pops up and it gives them choices to do various stuff. So that's where we have to work on in the last tutorial, probably one more tutorial into our very simple game is complete. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys then.